Well, Dereck Chisora did exactly what he said he was going to do. He was going to come for war, and he brought the heat as he said he would. Dilian Whyte also, they both went to war. It was a fantastic fight. We said it was going to be round 13 from the first round, and we did not lie. There was no feeling each other out. There was no easing into the rounds. It was just straight back to war, and every person got their value for money. Every person who paid for Sky box office has got more than their money's worth, and it's an entertainment. It's an entertainment sport, and people were truly entertained. I'm very proud of Dereck. He's dedicated his life solely to this training camp, and I think there was no line on the ropes, recovering. He went out there and put it all on the line for his fans, for his family, for himself, and he covered himself in glory. He was bettered by Dilian Whyte. The game plan was working perfectly. He was pushing the pace. He wasn't taking a backward step. I don't know what the second point deduction was for. From my angle, I didn't see what was it for?
Headbutting.
The second point was for headbutting. Huh?
Elbow.
I didn't see what that was, but whatever it was for, it seemed, in a tight fight like that, Dereck, it felt from ringside that Dereck needed to really do something, and it seemed he started trading, and he got caught with a beautiful left hook. One of the best, I said before the fight, Dilian has one of the best left hooks in the business, and it landed perfectly, and he's the victor. But once I said, very, very proud of Dereck, and I'd love him to say how he feels about the situation.
It was a great fight. It was a great fight. I enjoyed it from round one until it ended with a good left hook. In boxing, am I upset with this loss I got now? No, I'm not really, because when you get knocked out, it's much better than losing on points. Fair dues to my opponent, because when he chucked his shot, I was chucking one, he was chucking one, he's landed first, and that was it. I found myself on the floor. I'm not really annoyed about it, but I was enjoying the fight.
Dereck, you've always managed to come back from setbacks in the past through your career. Can you do so again, and would you like a rematch?
I don't know. Yeah, we'll bounce back. We'll see. I know right now he's gonna fight AJ, or there's fights out there. It's not like I lost a terrible loss, or it was a crappy fight or anything like that. It's a great fight. I enjoyed it. I just got caught with a left hook, and that was it. And I was chucking my left hook as well. So, yeah, we'll come back.
Dereck, that was a horrible knockout. There's no chance you considering retirement?
Nah, not yet. Get hit on the chin, it don't matter. You're just gonna go on the floor.
Dereck, what happens now? Do you have to go to hospital for a check at all tonight?
No. I'm perfect. I'm good.
Did you feel like you were ahead in the fight before the finish?
They had me winning, but the fight, apparently. Did they have me winning?
Yeah, two of the scorecards had you one up, and one had you one down, with the 2 points deducted. So it shows how the fight was playing out.
Is part of you tempted to tell Dereck to consider retirement?
Fuck that shit, man.
My job is I work for Dereck. Dereck tells me what he wants to do, and it's my job to facilitate that the best way I can.
Do you want me to retire? Huh? You say yes.
I don't think it'd be a terrible idea to consider.
Nah, go away, man. Every time everybody sees failure, they think everybody should retire. That's a disease we have in Great Britain. When you see failure, you'd be like, oh, he has to retire because he's seen failure. No, keep going. You just keep going until you go until you can't go anymore. So I don't think so.
We're all taken aback by your shape yesterday, Dereck. We're really, really impressed, and given the heavyweight division now, there's bound to be options as well early in the new year.
Oh yeah. Oh, sorry, go on.
Dereck, for the first time, has put his body through what a professional, world-class athlete needs to. And I think it was very evident from the pace that he set. And obviously, coulda, woulda, shoulda. If that shot wouldn't have landed, he wasn't out of steam, and he set a crazy pace. And he could have done that for 12 rounds. If he continues to box, he's only going to get better. Many fighters have been stopped. Lennox Lewis was stopped with one shot. Vladimir Klitschko. It happens. The one thing you can't question is Dereck's heart, and he's improving. So he needs to take some time off, enjoy his family. He's punished himself in training, and we all got the benefits of that in tonight. Dilian Whyte, you have to give him a hell of a lot of credit, because he fought at a pace. He was losing up until that point. So you have anybody who can come back from behind to score the knockout. You can do nothing but give them the utmost respect and credit. And they're beautiful dancing partners. They could fight 10 times, and you may get different decisions each time. The first fight was different from this fight, but they were all exciting. And every single person in the O2 Arena, every single person who subscribed to the Sky Box Office got their money's worth, and that's what boxing is all about.
Dereck, just to go back to a question a while back, when you were asked about whether you'd want a rematch. I wasn't clear on what your answer was there. Is that something you would want down the line, maybe not next fight, but...
Yeah, 100%. There's a third one in there, people probably want to say, yeah, we'll do it. Sorry, I can't hear you.
Now on 20 rounds with Dilian, do you think he's good enough to go on with a world title?
Hey, listen, I think everybody deserves a world title shot if you're standing. I said this before, man. I think Dilian was supposed to get his world title shot, when he wanted silver WBC. It's been 2 years now. I don't know why he hasn't boxed for it, but I think he deserves his shot. Everybody deserves their shot, to be honest with you.
Do you think he's good enough to win it though?
Yeah, it's boxing. Anyone is good enough to win anything.
Did the point deductions from the referee, did that bother you? What did you think of that during the fight itself?
Mate, you know what? I said this before, man. Something was about to go wrong. The ref, 3 points. So I thought I was chasing the fight. My coach told me stay in shape. And then I just went gun blazing, and I caught the wrong end of the guns blazing, basically.
It was a pretty open fight anyway, but were you actually chasing it?
My mind just thought, I'm down on 3 points. They've taken 3 points of me. I'm down now. I have to go and chase it. That was it. The British public loved it. Fans at home loved it. It was a great fight.
Can I ask both of you what you think about Joshua saying he may not fight Whyte next, he wants rival, etc. Do you think it should be Whyte next after that?
I think Dilian, definitely after Dilian's last 3 fights, Lucas Brown, Joseph Parker, and Dereck Chisora, out of any of the contenders outside of AJ, Fury and Wilder, I believe he's proven that he deserves the next shot at a title. Which one it is not my business, but I can't see any other heavyweights outside of Dilian right now who deserves a world title shot more than he does, because he's put it on the line. He didn't have to fight tonight, but he did, and he did great.
Dereck?
Yeah, he deserves it, man. But I think everybody wants to see that fight, Deontay Wilder and AJ. And if that happens, and then you got Fury in the mix as well. So yeah, I keep saying this again, man. Eddie has to fight for Dilian to fight for a world title now.
Is this partnership set to continue?
If Dereck wants to continue boxing, if he wants to continue to learn and progress. He learnt a lesson here tonight. You know, when if you feel if you have points deducted, you don't have to automatically chase it, and that's what it felt like he was doing. If the same thing ever happened again, he'd have learned that lesson, and the same thing won't happen again. So life's about learning, and you know, we can talk about how to improve if he wants to continue, which it clearly sounds like he does. But as far as I'm concerned, you know, I'll help Dereck as much as he needs.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, they thought it couldn't be as good as the first one. I thought it was better. I thought it was more dramatic. And as we've seen from the scorecards, Dilian Whyte came from behind to knock out Dereck Chisora to retain his WBC silver and WBO international heavyweight titles in another incredible fight to end the year. Over to you guys for questions to the champion.
Dilian, did you think you were behind, and was it better than the first one?
I didn't think it was better. I was out boxing every round. I was controlling the fight. I was boxing to a plan, controlling my temper, and just showing maturity and professionalism, and showing improvements. Chisora is a tough guy. I knew he was when I was trying to throw a combination, he was bobbing and weaving them. So I was just patterning what he was doing and just setting stuff up in my mind. And I knew if I stay consistent and just keep him using his legs and keep him moving around, it would tear eventually.
How satisfying was it to get the knockout?
Listen, everyone loves a knockout, but I was a bit worried for him. I thought maybe he wouldn't get up again, And at the end of the days, we're all fighters. We all talk a lot of smack out. We want to do this to each other and do that to each other. But when someone go down like that, you worry for them. You know what I mean? And he's got family to go home to as well. We had a good chat backstage and stuff. And Dereck said, what a tough man. What a brave man as well. Come back from defeat so many times and keep rising back to the top. So credit to him where it's due. And I was glad that I had him as a dancing partner, because in boxing you need people you can dance with and create excitement really. And the fight week's crazy. It was all calm, and then it erupted.
So you've spoken to him since the fight,
It was backstage chatting and stuff, And listen, how much rounds have I done with him? 20...
23.
No,
Nearly 20.
Nearly 23 rounds, You can't do that much rounds with someone and not respect them, And there was 23 well hard rounds, and he pressed as well, and he's strong, he's heavy-handed, and he's tough, very tough. But it's my time now. I'm still improving. I'm still getting stronger.
He was pretty generous about you as well, and said, that you deserve your world title shot. How do you feel about being in that mix right now?
It's a good place to be. I started from nowhere, no amateur experience, no nothing. And to be competing with these guys at this level who's been boxing for 25 years and beating them and knocking them out in fashion and still improving, it feels good. No one can't say, I've been handed anything or I've had it easy. I've had it hard, man. And it doesn't get any easier, it gets harder and harder.
What made you leave the ring in the way you did at the end?
Joshua was talking rubbish, man. He was just talking rubbish. I'm not going to sit around and wait for him. One man to sit around and waste 3-4 months of my career waiting for him, waiting to hear what he's doing. I ain't got time for that. My career needs to progress. There's fighters that sit down and wait 2 years, wait to hear, wait for the call. I can't do that. Time's ticking. I'm 30, I'm about to hit my prime now. So I need to act on me. I need to just keep planning my career and keep building. We were supposed to hear about the Joshua fight, I think. When was we supposed to hear? It was directly after the Wilder Fury fight. We're supposed to hear what's going to happen, innit? And nothing yet. So I can't sit around and wait for that. I got to plan my future and do what I'm doing.
Do you think he's damaging his reputation with the British public at the moment?
I don't know, man. The guy's making a lot of money. He's got 4 belts. I don't think he really cares about it. Just cares about what he's doing. I can't comment on that. He's the man at the moment. So he's doing all right.
But do you feel he insulted you by saying, there's him. Do you feel entitled to a world?
I don't think he's insulted me. He's just saying whatever he's saying. At the end of the day, he showed respect. I showed him respect. And I'm sure Eddie don't want the golden egg to get cracked, does he?
You haven't lost the appetite to want to kind of go in there and sort him out though, because you have wanted that for a long time.
You need dancing partners in boxing, man. You know, if I go and fight some, cause we had the option of fighting Chisora or fighting some cabbage in America. No one wanted to see me do that. You know what I mean? You know, I could have. Even Chisora was shocked that I agreed to the fight. I could have sat around and wait. You know, you need dancing partners, man. I could have gone to America and boxed Travis Kaufman or some nobody, you know. But
can you give us a top line then, Eddie? That is there, you know, if Wilder doesn't happen, is it going to be Dilian?
Yeah, I mean, look, he's done the right. I mean, look, firstly, I expect at the end of January, when the WBO will make their decision, they'll install Dilian as the mandatory for the WBO world title. He's also number one with the WBC. So I think the WBO mandatory is due September the 31st. So even if he doesn't fight him in April, you know, it's not. We've got to sit down with Dilian and his team, see if there's a deal to be done for April. I don't believe that Wilder will fight Joshua in April. So therefore we'll sit down pretty much immediately and see if there's a deal to be done. Dilian has become a pay-per-view fighter in his own right. I mean, he's had 2 back-to-back pay-per-views that have done fantastic numbers. Both of them have been Fight of the Year contenders against Parker and against Chisora. So he's in a great place. But you know, the feeling I get from Dilian is, of course he wants a world title fight, but he also wants to stay active, stay relevant, be in big fights, continue to improve. And there's no secret, Joshua wants to fight the undisputed fight. So, but he also wants to fight Dilian Whyte. He didn't get on the apron. No, he wouldn't do that. You know, I think Dilian called him a few names and he got up on the apron. It's quite unusual for him to do that. But he wants to fight Dilian Whyte because they've had a brilliant second fight, a brilliant first fight, and there is history, and it does 100,000 at Wembley. So if there's a deal to be done for that fight, I think there's a very, very good chance that will be next. But there are other fights he's looking at. There's other fights Dilian Whyte's looking at. He can do what he wants, Dilian might turn around and go, do you know what? I don't like that deal. I'm going to have this fight or that fight, and then I'm mandatory anyway.
How about me and you in pay-per-view in April?
Me and you? That would probably do more buys.
10 million buys.
Probably do more buys. I want 90-10.
No, me and Eddie.
I want 90-10.
That's alright. He's going to make so much money, I'll give you 9-10. I just want to splash you. I don't mind. He can have 9-10. You can have 95 actually.
I might win. You do it for nothing, to be fair.
I definitely would. I'm joking. Me and Eddie, we've had our ups and downs. We work well. We always get a deal.
One thing I will say is that, and not a lot of people know this, but you know, there was a time in Dilian Whyte's career that he was just looking for chances and opportunities, and he was virtually fighting for no money, just for chances and opportunities. And what he's carved out from, particularly what he came back from many years ago, you know, when he started his career, he's an unbelievable story. You know, and actually he's got a vision and a plan to grow a brand, and it's impressive. You know, he knows what he's doing, he knows what he wants, he doesn't turn fights down. You know, he's done 2 pay-per-views now that have generated a lot of buyers, and he is one of the most entertaining fighters on the planet. And he hasn't had the Olympic leg up, the GB leg up, all this sort of stuff. He's built it from the bottom end of literally small ball stuff. And that's quite unique.
Hey, did it surprise you when some of the fans were booing and Joshua at the end?
No, I thought he might get that. I mean, listen, I think after 22 fights, quite honestly, I think AJ's done phenomenal. But people want to see him fight Wilder, Fury, Dilian Whyte. But I can only tell you the man that I know, and I think Dilian feels the same. He's up for fighting these guys. He's not a guy that says, oh, I don't want to fight Wilder or Fury or Dilian. He's up for those fights. But just like a deal might be presented to Dilian that he don't like for the AJ fight, and he decides, Ross, for fuck's sake, mate. and he decides, no, I'll wait. You know, I'll wait till I'm at. It doesn't. You don't just say, right, you're fighting him and that's your money, so shut up and take it. It doesn't work like that. He's carved out a position for himself, number 1 in the WBC, number 1 in the WBO, top 5 in the WBA, be reinstated into the IBF. He's in a brilliant position. He doesn't have to take the AJ fight for whatever deal we tell him it has to be, or don't worry about it. You know, he could fight in America. He's got everything to do. But I do feel like he deserves a world title shot, and I do feel like he is either in his prime or quickly approaching his prime, and that is generally the time to strike. And I also believe him against AJ is a fucking unbelievable fight. Unbelievable fight.
Eddie, do you think that WBC mucked Dilian about a little bit?
Yeah, I do. Look, I like Maurizio Sullivan, but they dropped the ball and they promised someone something without thinking about what they promised someone else. And they will probably order Brazil against Whyte as a mandatory for the WBC if Fury fights Wilder. But he's also going to be mandatory for the WBO. So he doesn't have to be mandatory for the WBC, but if he wants to be mandatory for the WBC, maybe he fights Brazil. I mean, he can literally, you know,
we could fight Manuel Char for the WBA regular.
No, he's stripped. He's been stripped.
We could fight whoever for it then.
Yeah. Gerald Miller?
I don't care.
Yeah.
You
But I ain't got the
you
fucking
like making
WBA
easy
record.
fights, don't you?
Gerald Miller, is that an easy fight?
It's easy for you to make.
Is it an easy fight?
Yeah, of course. I would knock that pumpkin out.
He called Dilian out to us tonight.
Yeah. That's a big fight. And by the way, we could do that in the Barclays Centre, we can do that over here. But, you know, he performs well at the O2. It's a little stomping ground.
Excuse me, sorry. Do you want to fight in America, Dilian?
Yeah, of course. They aim is to be Royal Heavyweight Champion, the Royal, not British Heavyweight Champion of the world. I want to fight as much different places as I can, you know, get my name out there and be a draw in other countries or not just at home, you know. I want to, you know, inspire different people in different countries as well, not just, I fought in America already anyway. I loved it, and you know, even though Eddie put me in at 5 in the evening, at 5 o'clock I was like, wow.
And in Omaha.
Yeah, it's funny because I went from fighting at 10 o'clock at night to 5. I was like, oh, okay, all right, cool. Yeah.
How much has Dilian improved since his last fight against AJ?
Well, it's about the experience of the fighters that he's faced, you know what I mean? So going through them different styles, and them styles like Hellenius and Parker, getting through them battles to a game plan, that's what gives him the experience, you know, and he's got confidence, but he gives you another level of confidence, and yeah. So he's got all the, he knows what he's doing off. It's the experience, and look, you know, I expect him a little bit sharper tonight, to tell the truth, behind the jab, a little bit flat, but you know, we had a chat in the 10th round. We had a chat in the 10th round, said something like, he's growing in confidence. Don't let him keep pushing you back or pushing you around. You got to let some combos go. Went out there and did it. In the next round, in the 11th round, told him in the 10th, done it in the 11th, went out there, turned it on when he had to. You know what I mean? But you know, liked him to be a bit sharper tonight, a little bit sharper tonight, but he was under control in that corner. He weren't blowing. He was under control. He knew what he was doing. Yeah, that was set up. What he did tonight, he set that up. He told me mid-rounds, Mark, I'm going to turn it on. And he did. Just need a little reminder. As soon as I said that Chisora's pushing him around a bit, he didn't like it.
You gotta get a box or plan. Listen, Staggs is a tough guy. The more you hit him, it's that the more he comes on. So I see him in fights. So if you box him a bit, he just falls apart. You know, he loses his concentration a bit, and he can clean his clock if he. And I know that, you know, it's easy to say go out there and do this and do that and jab more and be sharp and that. But sometimes you'll fight and you see stuff your coaches don't see. Sometimes your coaches tell you stuff and then you can't. You see something. As a fight, and I'm a fighter. I'm always learning. I'm always, like, as a time and time again, as the fights are going on, I'm figuring stuff out. I'm seeing stuff, and I knew I threw 1-2 left hook and he rolled 3 punches. I thought, all right, don't worry. I need to change something up. I threw it a couple of times. He rolled all of them. So I was like, all right, you know, I need to do something and set a trap. You know, and that's what I've done. You know, sometimes it's good to go out and be sharp and whatever. Some fighters you can't be sharp against them because of their style, and Dereck presses. So you have to set traps. And we done something training, throw the lazy right hand, let him think there's no power in it, and let him walk straight into the left hook. And that's exactly what happened. You know, I knew it was only a matter of time. And to be honest, I trained so hard. If I had done him in a round, I'd have probably just been like, whatever. You know,
You had him rocking.
Yeah, I could have done him in the first 2 rounds as well, but it's about maturity, man. Listen, it just is longevity in the sports, you know what I mean? And he's a heavyweight, you know. Look, Takam had him all over the place and he swing one and ended that. So you have to be smart, you know. It's not all the time you can go out there and try and blow people away in the first round. Listen, last time I fought him, he punched me so much in the balls, I was peeing blood for 2 days after. Chisora, he's a fighting man. He's not a boxer, he's not a technician, he's a fighting man. Chisora, I always call him Black Viking, you know what I mean? He just hit anything. He'll hit you with anything.
I've never seen a back elbow before.
This Dereck Chisora, like I said, you can't prepare for anything with those, so you have to just try and prepare as much as you can and cover as much angles as Chisora does what he wants. He don't care. He's at 2-1 and then he's just like, well, I'll just throw a spinning elbow then, innit? But he doesn't care. He don't care.
It's MMA day, that was. Eddie, at what point do you say that the Wilder tops are done and you look elsewhere?
Very, very soon. I mean, we haven't got long. You know, I mean, I'm sure we'll be on the phone to Dilian and these guys in the next week, and we should start straight away and say, look, let's just if there's potential, we need to move. But you know, I think the priority is Wilder. He wants to fight Wilder, but I don't believe that'll happen.
Interesting.
Is there a cut-off point for that? Is there a cut-off point for that?
I mean, if it's an April 13th date at Wembley, you'd need it on sale end of Jan, something like that.
Eddie, when you say if, does that mean Joshua might not fight at Wembley on April 13th?
Good question.
Good question. I think he's about 80% likely to fight at Wembley on April 13th.
So will you do a draw at Wembley on the April 13th regardless of...
Yes.
Would you say you don't think it'll happen with Wilder? Is that where you're at?
If you don't fight me, can I be main event there?
At Wembley?
Yeah.
Quite possible.
And then someone else.
Me.
My friend.
I have to do that at Orient.
You don't want to get...
sorry, what's the question?
You don't think it'll happen with Wilder?
They're not showing a lot of willingness, to be honest.
Where is Fury in the mix?
I think...
Have you heard anything from him?
Yeah, he texted me a few times, we've spoken a few times. Look, Josh wants to be undisputed, and if he can't get those, then he looks at Fury and Dillon. But these guys, you know, they're not lapdogs. They're not just going to turn around and say, yeah, all right, just tell me what the deal is and I'll be there. So these guys, they're not like just a voluntary pick where, oh, I'm over the moon to get a shot. They're in position. So whether it's Dilian, whether it's Fury, whether it's Jarrell Miller, whether it's Wilder, who knows?
Is Fury hard to make because he's with Frank?
I don't know. Is he with Frank?
Well,
I don't know.
yeah. Do you think he might not be?
He's calling me. I don't know.
It's a good Dilian fight, Fury.
Yeah, it's a great fight. We tried to make that fight before. When Tyson Fury came back, I wanted him to have one warm-up fight and then fight, do a 3-fight deal. Warm-up fight, Tony Bellew, Dilian Whyte. Whyte Fury is a massive fight. That's a Wembley fight.
So you want the lineal belts?
Right, he wants to be the lineal champion.
Dilian, who do you respect more after tonight? Chisora or Joshua?
Chisora, of course. You know, Derek's a tough dude, man. You know, I definitely respect Chisora more, you know.
Do you believe Anthony wants to fight you or is he dodging you?
I don't know, man. But I'll ask him and they did that question. See the smile explains it all.
But you don't think, you know he don't have a problem fighting you.
Well, he might not, but his team might do.
No.
Don't worry, man.
Were you expecting him to say something different in his sort of response to you tonight? Joshua?
I thought you'd have said, let's do it. You know, but he was at, I'm in an iron, and I go, because I'm in an iron. You know, he said, I want to fight Dillon, hopefully Dereck knocks him out. Because why would he hope that? I mean, Dereck is nowhere near as big as me and him, so why would he hope that? You know, it's just, the signs there that he doesn't really want to fight, man. You know. But let's see what happens anyway. Of course, Eddie's going to say yes. Eddie's his guy, isn't it?
I'm your guy too, don't worry.
Yeah.
How do you feel about having to fight Brazil in an eliminator season?
Listen, like I said, my career don't depend on AJ. You know, he's got 4 of the belts, but if I manage for 1 or 2 of them and he doesn't fight me, I'm sure they're going to strip him at some point anyway. So, you know, fight Brazil, you know. It's only a matter of time, man. I just have to just keep being patient, keep working hard, keep winning fights, and, you know, it will happen. And just, you know, hope I don't get sidestepped too long till I'm old as, you know, they say. Yeah, exactly.
All right, guys. Thank you very much.